Hi all, it's Ali here. Today I want to talk about weight. If any of you have seen my videos before, you'll know I have discussed this before. But Pam from Shoot the Shit said you should make a video on how I lost 140 pounds. I shan't roll on about all the ins and outs. Well, I might do, but let's save that for a minute. The way I lost 140 pounds initially was to count calories. That's the only way I know how to do it. It didn't matter if it was chocolate, whether it was Chinese, whether it was a lettuce leaf or a pickled onion. I counted it. I had a little book, and every day I didn't need to even write down the food. I would just put the number, what it was. And I soon got into a routine of this. And I used to allow myself at first, when I was about 18 stone, which was my top weight. At that point, I allowed myself anything up to 1,500 a day, and I started to lose very slowly. None of this, oh, I whacked off £5, £10, £6, £3, £2, and then £2 a week. No, it didn't work for me like that. It was a trickle. And then after, I don't know, a few months, I suppose, I went down and I had a chart on the wall, and every week I'd see what I weighed. And God, it drove me mad. I hated every minute of it. And over about 18 months, I had bad days, of course I did. But I made myself through gritted teeth. I kept going and kept going and kept going. And I got down to, I'll show you a picture, probably my heaviest, first of all. Let's start at the top end. Here we are. It's a very bad picture. You can see what I look like at that weight. That was about, I was probably about 18 stone there. It's difficult to judge it all. Another one. This was a particular Christmas. We went away to Cyprus and had Christmas abroad. I wasn't happy. I hated it. And I always felt that people were judging me for my weight. I was slightly less here. I was about 17. We were at a Dolly Osmond concert. You can see I'm on the seat, bottle of wine in hand. And that's a complete other story, which involves a very good friend, Lisa, of mine. So that was me there. As you can see, I didn't hold back from doing things. I just carried on regardless. It's another one at the Donny concert. That was at Broadlands in Romsey. We had a ball that day. I was very hot. I was very sweaty. I was very tired, and I was very drunk. But you see, I really enjoyed my 6 bottles of wine or however much I consumed. At that point in my life, I don't think, or I may have just known at that point that I was celiac. I may not have done. I can't remember now. Anyway, so that would have been going back 6, 7 years, maybe a bit longer. I don't know if there's a date on the back of these. That would tell me, wouldn't it? The first ones I know were much longer, long time ago. I can't remember when I went to see Donny in concert. It must be as long ago as that. But the first ones were, no, doesn't give me a date. Anyway, let's get on with it. So that's what I would look like at my bigger size. But you see, that was just my external appearance. I was exactly the same person as I am now. I had exactly the same phobias and felt people looked at me and judged me because of my weight. I was carrying excess fuel, or how I called it, potential energy. That's all, because that's all fat is. It's potential energy to burn. And as soon as I saw it in this scientific way, I found it easier to lose weight. Because while people might call you fat, lazy, and that you shouldn't eat this and you shouldn't eat that, the realities are my body was just storing potential energy for me to use later on. And I did so. Over 18 months, I burnt that potential energy up. It's much harder than you burning up energy that can be used straight away, the fuel that you put into your body. And that's the problem. And also, of course, you produce these apparently fat cells. I could be wrong about this, but I understand we get fat cells. And and the body gets used to storing fat. So that's what it knows to do. And then, of course, once you start counting calories and you have a deficit of calories, your body starts to burn the fat. Now, obviously, if you have an underactive thyroid, as I do, that can make some difference, but it will still work. It will still work. You have to be a lot more patient. And then, after I lost weight, I felt more body confident. And here's a picture of me at about, certainly not on my lightest, but 9.5 stone. So what's that in weight? It's I'm going to say about 130, 137 pounds, I'm going to say. There I am, lying like a goddess on a sunbed. That's a nice flattering picture. And here I am again on the same holiday. And at the moment, I'm about 10.5 stone, or 10 stone 4 I was this morning. But again, I'm just me. I'm the same person. The good thing is that I'm less likely to get type 2 diabetes. I could get that anyway, though, having said that. And the good thing is I can get into lots of clothes. I can just go into a shop and buy a 16 or a 14 or a 12 or sometimes a 10 or, anything. I can just go to a normal shop and buy clothes. I don't have to order from the plus sizes. But I still have the same hang-ups about weight. So although all I did it was like a science project, calories in, calories out, and I ate anything I wanted to eat. So if I wanted 1,000 calories of chocolate, although apparently the body doesn't, doesn't process sugary foods as easily or as well as other foods, sensible foods, it still should do the same thing. 1,000 calories of chocolate should technically be no different, say, than 1,000 calories of lettuce leaves. Of course they are, because the body stores them differently, and when we have a lot of sugar in our body, it quickly stores fat. I don't quite understand why one doesn't do the same as the other, or if there is even a difference. I could be wrong, but I was led to believe that 1,000 calories in chocolate, okay, it's less healthy, but it would actually burn slightly differently. I think the body has to do it. Anyway, as I lost weight, I had to have my gallbladder out. And the reason for that is that many people that lose weight, it's like when you have a gastric bypass, that can mean that your gallbladder needs to come out. And in some cases, they take the gallbladder out at the same time. Now, I was told the reason for this is that a lot of people have gallstones anyway that are overweight, and that as obviously you lose less of the fat around your middle, the gallbladder isn't kept in place so much, so there's more room, and stones, and also the stones deposit, and you could feel it. Now, again, I could be completely wrong about this. That's what I was led to believe. I'm not sure. There's probably a scientific reason for it. Anyway, I had my gallbladder out, so that's gone. How do I feel emotionally? No different at all. I'm as screwed up now about food as I was when I was bigger. And it would take nothing for me to put on that 8 stone again. I've put on 1.5 stone like that. It's been easy. And although maybe a lot of people would say that I'm at a healthier weight, because I went right down to about 123. Now I'm 5'4", 5'3.5" now, and a bit. That bit makes all the difference. And I'm aged 56. And when you're older, they do say just keep a little bit of weight on. My friend used to say to me, she was frightened that if I got cancer, because, we always worry about, she and I together can catastrophize anything. If ever I was to have cancer, I'd have nothing to lose, because we had friends that have died of cancer, and we all know that chemotherapy is hard going, and apparently even with my mother, they told her she had to eat cream, because if you're at a lower weight, you need to keep your weight up through chemo. Anyway, that's a bit drastic, isn't it, really, to be thinking like that? But a lot of people feel that my face being fuller looks softer, that actually it's better to be this weight. I personally still want to be right down at my lowest weight of about 123 pounds. I don't want to be 147. Does it matter? I mean, who gives a shit? I'm thinking people can see me putting on weight and they think, oh yeah, here we go, she's going to put it all on. I don't think people really think enough about me to give a shit. I mean, that's the reality. And I think when we're larger, we think that everybody's thinking, oh my God, about your weight. But actually, the reality is most people may think, oh, it would be healthier if she lost some weight. But actually, a lot of people might be looking at more at how you're dressed, or they like your hair, or I've had loads of compliments in the past about what I wear. Oh, did you make that? Oh, I like that clothing. Now, there are some cons too. Of course, there's the skin thing. I'm going to stand up here now. Not because I'm going to show you my stomach, because I wouldn't dream of doing that, or my upper thighs, because I wouldn't dream of doing that either. I mean, this is social media. I am not going to be slagged off for that. But I will show you. Clearly, when you lose a lot of weight, let me see if I can get this right for you. You can see horrible crinkly arms and loose skin here. You obviously get the wings. And of course, I don't have a huge skirt here, a flab, and I'm not going to show you it. I like keep my support knickers on. You know, I am not going to go and have it all cut off. That is a completely unnecessary, that's a completely unnecessary operation for me to have, because I'm older. Every operation comes with it risk. If this had happened to me maybe in my 30s, I might think differently. I think that's possible. However, I got fat for a reason. We all get fat for a reason. Mostly it's for comfort. Food is cheap. It's very quick to get hold of, and it's cheap. And sugary stuff is particularly cheap. And the other thing is, my overeating started, oh God, I remember even at the age of 6 and 7 wanting food. And then it really racked up when I got sexually abused. But I'm not blaming that on anything. And that happened when I was around the age of 11. But I can't blame that on anything. I can't blame my eating, because it may start for that reason, but it continues because it becomes habitual. Every time you get nervous, every time there's a reason, you hit the food. And that's what I've been doing recently, because I've been feeling very stressed, and I'm worried about Simon's results and my results, and also, I'm worried about my son and things like that. My eldest son, who, it struggles, and I often worry about him, but I can't blame any of that. It's me who puts the food in my mouth. It's me who's made this pattern of behaviour, allowed it to carry on, not recognising it earlier. And now, even at 56, I have to fight that sort of addictive behaviour. I am a food addict. I probably always will be. No, not probably. I will be a food addict always, unless there's some miracle that can change that. Now, I know when you have gastric bypass, apparently your brain, there's something that sends messages to the brain that when they do the gastric bypass, apparently you don't feel the urge to eat as much. Now, I'm not sure, because I've got a friend who's had a gastric bypass many years ago, and she did put on almost all her weight, but I think she's losing it again now. So she goes up and down, and it's still a struggle. So really, gastric bypass is only an aid to slimming. I'm not sure that it really meets what's going on up in here. And I think I've had lots of counselling, and I still want food every day. It's nice. Food is lovely. And there are people like my father who couldn't care less about food. He said if you could have a pill to take, that would be lovely. Just give him a pill. He's not interested in food. Never has been. He eats routines every day, almost the same types of thing, day in, day out. He's 93. Now, I was adopted, and it's interesting because I think there's a hereditary factor to this. All my friends that have, shall we say, weight challenges, their children often have weight challenges, or their parents had weight challenges. I was adopted, so my father and I are not genetically the same. So I met my parents, and both of them were very, very overweight. And I have a sister who struggles. So the genetics in you, there has to be a point, that a big part that plays in that. The same with my husband's family. All his sisters had to watch their weight. So did his parents. Well, they never bothered watching their weight, but that, you know, they easily put on weight. They're the hereditary bits that we pick up, or the genetics, or whatever it's called. There has to be something there. If they could find a tablet, marvellous. We'll all take one, and we'll all just be healthy and the right size. But then I've got a conspiracy theory about this. I reckon there probably is something out there, but they're not going to give it because the diet industry makes too much money out of it. I have tried slimming groups and things like that. Did do that for a while. Hated it. Hated every minute. I only lasted about 2 or 3 goes, because the trouble is with me, when you tell me what I've got to do it, then I won't do it. You know, because I don't want to be part of a class of a lot of people that are struggling. I only want to deal with my own issues. I can't help anybody else. Jesus, I can't help myself. So, from from Shoot the Shit, and from, you know, to MFW, who struggles with her weight, and she's doing brilliantly with that gastric bypass. I mean, that is life-changing, because she's had an op. Mine isn't as life-changing because I haven't had my insides altered. I mean, that's a whole different world in her body than it is from mine. But how did I lose weight? I don't know. I was scared of becoming diabetic. That's why I lost weight. How I lost weight was cutting calories, so that I just cut enough down that my body would keep losing weight. Was it hard? Yes, desperately hard. Was it miserable? I'm not kidding. It was a bloody pain in the arse. Just as miserable as it is now when I stuff another biscuit and think, oh, I shouldn't be doing that today. I find food is my enemy, as well as something that I rush to for comfort. I probably always will do. I'm sure I will do. It's something I've never managed to get a grip on. Although people look at me and go, oh my God, you've got it sussed. No, I have kept it off for about 5 years. But in that 5 years, I've gone up and down a couple of stone here and there. And I have struggled with it every day. And it's as hard now as when I was 200 and whatever it was pounds. So that's my story. For anybody out there, I'm sure there are many of you that can identify with this. I just accept it'll be a struggle. And each day I have renewed hope that maybe today I won't think quite so much about the sugary foods, and I'll enjoy more of the stuff that helps me function well. Please subscribe. Please share. I want to get up to 1,000, just because I want to get up to 1,000. So please help me. Take care. Love you all. Bye.